sleep at night?
I sleep great.
There are 2 million people being starved in Gaza. They are being intentionally starved by Israel. You guys continue to use our tax dollars to send to Israel to fund this. How dare you? There are aid trucks waiting to be let in.
As Israel's campaign of mass starvation in Gaza intensifies, Representative Randy Fine, who you just saw in that video, is doubling down, saying conditions should be even worse. And we'll have more on him in a second, but first, some context. More than 100 aid agencies and rights groups, including Save the Children and Doctors Without Borders, warned on Wednesday that mass starvation was spreading across Gaza, adding to calls for Israel to lift restrictions on humanitarian aid to the besieged enclave. Doctors Without Borders in Gaza has reported a sharp and unprecedented rise in acute malnutrition. Adults frequently collapse from hunger, the aid groups said in their statement, adding that stockpiles of food and other supplies warehoused outside the territory were being prevented from reaching people in need. At least 101 people are known to have died from hunger during the conflict, according to Palestinian officials, including 80 children, most of them in just the last few weeks. The situation would give any normal person pause, but not Representative Randy Fine, who posted this on X. Release the hostages. Until then, starve away. This is all a lie anyway. It amazes me that the media continues to regurgitate Muslim terror propaganda. So which is it? Is it a lie, or should they continue starving? But his tweet prompted a response from the American Jewish Committee. The serious humanitarian situation in Gaza must not be taken lightly, especially by those at the highest levels of government. Implying that starvation is a legitimate tactic is unacceptable. All those in need of humanitarian aid should receive it promptly and safely. Our leaders must focus less on scoring political points and more on doing their jobs. Now, as this situation worsens, reporting on conditions in Gaza itself is now jeopardized, as Newswire AFP is calling on Israel to allow its freelance reporters in Gaza to leave because they themselves are succumbing to hunger. Brett, this is a obviously terrible situation on the ground in Gaza. Starvation is never a legitimate form of war, but here's Randy Fine yet again outing himself as one of the most vile and sadistic members of Congress.
Right, you have to be sadistic to think that that's a good look. You have to be sadistic to enjoy what this dude said. Like, just from a purely cynical standpoint, America always wants to position itself as the moral leader of the world, the free world. You know, the president of the United States is the leader of the free world. And we try to say that we're the good guys and people who are unlike us are the bad guys. Does the good guy ever talk like that? Does the good guy ever say, yes, let the children starve, and if they're starving, they don't exist? Like, what a weird approach to that. The good guy in the movie says, we don't want to have to do this. We tried everything we could to avoid having to do this. Or the good guy says, well, here, if he doesn't think that this problem is real and it's just propaganda, then the good guy gives you the reason for that, gives you proof that what he's saying is true and what the bad guy's saying is a lie. But in this scenario, when you strut down the hallway proudly touting like the starvation of children, which side you're on in this debate aside, just looking at the optics of that, like, it's bad. And I have to point to Donald Trump, who made this the way to win politics in America. The example of the good guy that America got away with for a long time, while also doing some extremely shady stuff around the world. Like, we got away with doing a lot of bad stuff, but we still were able to convince a lot of people through stuff like movies and speeches like the one I tried to just kind of model. We convinced people we were the good guy, but no one's looking at that. And look at the scoreboard, man. Like, you're just not the good guy. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Can we pull Randy Fine's tweet back up? There's something I want to point out and talk about here. So he's trying to frame this like most Republicans and supporters of Israel about the hostages. Release the hostages. Until then, starve away. I want all of you to think about that for a second. And then think about who in these scenarios, like any campaign of mass starvation or blockade or famine, who is affected first? It is children. And I talked about this last night on the show with Cenk. Al Jazeera has been airing footage of some of these children who are in the hospital, surviving solely on IV fluid, what little remains in Gaza. And it is horrifying. They look like they haven't eaten in weeks. You could basically see through their skin to see their bones. That's all it is. There is no muscle mass, very little tissue. It is just bones. That is who is affected here. They have no impact whatsoever on the release of the hostages that remain in Gaza. That's not what this is about. This is purely about starvation, inflicting as much harm and pain as they want, and ultimately ethnic cleansing. They want to drive everybody out of there. I have an interview coming out on Friday with Chris Hedges. And he talks about having spent there recently in the past couple months, how bulldozers have just been descending from the north of Gaza, demolishing everything in their path. It is happening now. They are wiping Gaza out, and these children are the ones who are affected first. He is vile. He has no place anywhere near the levers of power, and he certainly doesn't belong in our Congress. He is disgusting.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us. Become a Young Turk.